Austria, free practice 1, and something happened that nobody was really prepared for. Kimi Antonelli, a 17-year-old kid who only made his Formula 1 debut this season, just put his Mercedes at the top of the timing sheets. Not second, not third. First, ahead of George Russell, ahead of Max Verstappen, ahead of Lewis Hamilton, ahead of everyone, and Mercedes has said absolutely nothing about it. Now, before you say it's just FP1, it doesn't mean anything. I want you to hold that thought, because the numbers here tell a story that Mercedes really doesn't want us to read too carefully. Antonelli's fastest lap was a 107.796. Russell was 0.040 seconds behind him. That gap sounds tiny, but in Formula 1, 0.040 seconds is not tiny at all. That is a meaningful gap. That is a gap that tells you one driver was genuinely faster than the other, not just lucky on a single corner. Russell ran 30 laps. Antonelli ran 29, both on similar programs, similar tyres, similar conditions. This wasn't a case of Antonelli going out on fresh softs while Russell was on a long run. The conditions were comparable, and Antonelli was faster. So why is Mercedes quiet about this? Think about it. If this was just a normal result, Mercedes would be all over social media talking about their young driver, hyping him up, celebrating the 1-2. But the reaction from the team has been very controlled, very measured, almost like they don't want to draw attention to what just happened. Here's what I think is going on. Mercedes is testing something on that car. Something significant. And they split the testing between Russell and Antonelli to gather twice the data in half the time. That's why both drivers ran similar lap counts. That's why both drivers were pushing. They weren't just doing regular FP1 work. They were running a specific program, and in that program, Antonelli came out faster. Now that creates a problem for Mercedes. Because if you're George Russell, you are the number one driver at this team. You have been for 2 years. You fought to earn that seat. And now a teenager is beating you in practice. Not just matching you. Beating you. And the team is acting like nothing happened. But something did happen. Look at where everyone else finished. Piastri was third, 0.117 back. Verstappen was fourth, 0.281 back. These are not slow drivers. These are the best drivers on the grid, and both of them were behind a 17-year-old in a silver car. That either means Mercedes has found something massive with this car, or Antonelli is genuinely on another level right now. And honestly, it might be both. We already knew coming into Austria that Mercedes had brought updates. They've been quietly closing the gap to McLaren and Red Bull over the last few races. But FP1 here suggests the gap might not just be closing. It might already be gone. If Mercedes is genuinely the fastest car this weekend, that changes everything. Because Verstappen has been dominant, McLaren has been strong, Ferrari has been inconsistent. But if Mercedes locks out the front row on Saturday, the entire championship picture shifts. And then there's the Hamilton angle. Lewis Hamilton, 5-time world champion, now driving for Ferrari. He finished 5th in FP1, 0.665 seconds off the pace. His former team is faster than his new team. And the kid who took his seat at Mercedes just beat everyone. I'm not saying Hamilton made the wrong decision moving to Ferrari. It's one session. Anything can happen. But if you're Hamilton, watching Antonelli go fastest in Austria in a Mercedes, in a car that Hamilton himself developed, in a team that Hamilton spent 11 years building, that has to sting a little. Ferrari was nowhere near the top today. Hamilton was their best driver, and he was 5th. Bogdanovic, their junior driver, was 9th. The car is not where it needs to be. And with Antonelli showing this kind of pace, the pressure on Ferrari to deliver a competitive car for Hamilton is only going to increase, because if Hamilton left Mercedes, and Mercedes is now genuinely the fastest team with a 17-year-old at the wheel, the narrative writes itself, and it's not a comfortable one for Ferrari. Back to Antonelli, though. Because I think we need to talk about what this kid is actually doing. He came into this season as the youngest driver on the grid. Everyone expected a learning year. Everyone expected mistakes, off weekends, moments where the pressure of Formula 1 caught up with him. And yes, there have been some rough moments. But there have also been moments like today, where he just goes out and beats everyone. Cleanly, confidently. Without any drama. That composure at 17 is genuinely frightening for the rest of the field. If Antonelli carries this pace into qualifying, Mercedes could be looking at their first pole position of the season. And if that happens, the conversation around him changes completely. He stops being the promising rookie and starts being a genuine title contender. Mercedes knows this. That's why they're being careful with how they talk about today. Because if they hype Antonelli too much, they create tension with Russell. If they downplay it, people like me start asking questions about what they're hiding, so they say nothing. And let the timing sheets do the talking. But here's the thing, the timing sheets already spoke. Loudly, Antonelli was fastest, Russell was second. And somewhere in the Mercedes garage, there is a conversation happening right now that the rest of the Formula One world is not allowed to hear. Whether that conversation is about car setup, about driver hierarchy, about championship strategy, we don't know yet, but we will find out. Because qualifying is coming. The race is coming. And Austria has a way of bringing out the truth in ways that teams cannot control. Watch this space. Because I think this weekend is about to get very interesting.